All right. Hey, music producers and sound designers, welcome back to the stream. Today, we're going to dive back in to sound design. So, what's up? Welcome back to the lab. So, today we're going to be designing a sound that feels immortal, something inspired by Tron Legacy and that emotional energy from Who Wants to Live Forever. That's a song from the movie. And we're going to use that as an inspiration today. If you haven't heard the song, you can be sure to look it up or just check on YouTube as well. So we're going to build something from scratch in Reaktor, and we're just going to use basic modules and see if we can make something that feels like digital eternity, if that makes sense. So let's dive right in and let's create the sounds. So I'm going to open up a version of Reaktor here, right here, and we're going to dive right in. I'm going to add in my basic blocks that I need. We're going to go through this a little bit quickly just to get up and started. And I'm going to make some connections. So right here, we've got the basic foundation of synthesis right here. So if I turn this up, we have a basic sound. So that's the foundation of everything we'll be doing today. So let's bring our oscillator to the front. Just lining up my panel. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. So we got some sound coming through. Just organizing things so that the signal flow looks correct. So I'm going to turn that down for a second. And we got a basic sound. So that's the starting of synthesis and the starting of sound design. So we're going to first grab, I'm going to do two oscillators. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this one. We're going to name them. Oops, I went to structure view. We don't need that today. Just going to name them so that if we add any extra stuff, we can actually know what's what. So there we go. So I've named my oscillators, just cleaning up my panel a little bit, making sure it looks somewhat neat. And there we go. We've got our basic structure. I'm going to need one more thing. Just going to blend these two oscillators together into one sound. Going to turn up my volume again so we can hear what we're doing and turn it back up. So we have two oscillators working right now in tandem together. You can hear the difference if we use our mix knobs to listen. But actually, I've changed my mind. I'm going to use, I think, this mix knob. This mix. I think I'll use another mix. Looking for that one. A mixer. That's not it. We can work with this. So we'll work with this for now. And so now we're going to take our oscillators and we're going to choose some saw waves. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a saw. Saw looks like that. And then from there, let's make them, let's slightly detune them. Let's do 1 + 3 and 1 - 3. 1 + 4 - 3. Let's hear what that sounds like. Okay, so we're getting some dissonance in our sound, and it sounds pretty cool already. So you can hear that. Hopefully you can hear that coming through. Yeah, we're getting some dissonance in our sound. Get the bass. I think that sounds pretty cool. Okay, so let's continue with our sound design. And to meet that, you want to hit Command R. Oh, well, because this is the plugin version, some of those functions don't work when you're using it as a plugin. But when you use this Reaktor as standalone for sound design, all these subtle buttons like duplicating and muting, all the key commands, they work. So I don't know why that is when you're using this as a plugin, but I think it's because it's integrated into the DAW is why it works like that. So we'll keep going. So it creates like a slow beating sound, if you can hear that. And I like that. It creates the soul of the sound. And now let's modulate. We're going to modulate with an LFO, low frequency oscillator, just on the pitch for tiny movements like 0.1 semitones. And so the drift, it makes it feel, so it drifts. And that makes it feel alive. So I already have LFO. And then we're going to, let's do it on, should we do on both LFOs or should we do on one LFO? I think let's do both. So we will modulate both LFOs at the same time. Let's turn it on. So we have modulation going into both of these oscillators. You can see the light here showing that modulation input is LFO input is in the modulation port. So now we're going to modulate. So you can see that little bead moving up and down. And now you can hear it. That's the depth of the modulation. You can do positive modulation, or you can do negative modulation, which is the other direction. It just means the opposite direction. Positive is positive, and negative is going the opposite direction. So right, positive is going. You can think of it as the speed going right, or you can think of negative modulation as the beat going left. So we're gonna turn that back on, and you hear that first oscillator modulating its pitch just slightly. So we're gonna do 0.1 semitones. It's a very slight movement. Let's turn this into, yeah, let's leave it. Just bringing it down. I want it to move a little bit more than that. Okay, I think that's good. Let's do it for both of the oscillators, not just the first oscillator. I want to modulate the second one as well. So let's do it. Turn it back on. Let's modulate that second one. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. So now we got both of them modulating in sequence. That's something that sounds pretty cool. I haven't decided if I'm going to use an envelope to do that, but right now I'm using LFO. And we can slightly detune one of the oscillators a little bit, or both of them, and give us another effect, another layer. There we go. That's yet another layer of modulation that's happening with the detuning. So we've added pretty much 3 layers. We have our oscillators, we have our waveforms, and we're modulating our waveforms, but at the same time, we've detuned the oscillators so they're a little bit dissonant. And then we also added some minor fine tuning with sense controls to detune them some more. And this is what the result sounds like. A deeper, richer sound. So we're getting some sense of movement with the sound, kind of like the sound is remembering something, or yeah. So let's shape our tone with the low pass filter going down. So this is pretty much sound design in a nutshell. It's a little bit of a trial and error and working through your sound, having an idea of what you want to make, and then designing that sound. So we're going to shape it a little bit with the filter. I want to carve out the highs, leave a little bit of warmth. So leaving the emotional core of the sound. So I'm going to modulate the envelope a little bit, not too snappy, like a slow fade out. This gives us some cinematic feel, cinematic pad feel. So let's modulate that envelope. I'm going to add in another envelope, and this will modulate that. So let's turn that back up. So are we getting modulation? I don't see it. I don't see it going into the filter. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Let's use an LFO. Just going to delete those connections. Bring in an LFO to modulate. That's exactly why I named everything before I started. Just making sure that my panel's staying clean. I can actually recognize what's what. So I've named my oscillators, oscillator 1, oscillator 2, my filters, so I know what's controlling what. And here's my second LFO right underneath the first one. So let's turn that back up. Let's turn on the modulation on. Let's add some modulation to our second filter. We only have one filter. And then there should be modulation depth, a light lighting up, showing blue and red. Means that it's getting input signal from this LFO, but I haven't told the signal where to go. Just think of it like a water hose with pressure. There's now pressure in the pipeline, and I can choose when to let it out. Like this is the lever. All of these positive and negative modulation points. When I click this button, they pop up. There's nothing there when it's blank. When I click A, this is just a second another port. So this is think of it as a fire hose, and you're sending juice to each one, or water. The same thing applies to the second port, and we have two ports that we can use to modulate. So if we have some other parameter we want to do, or more parameters that we want to do, or we want to double or triple or quadruple, or however infinite times you want to add modulation, you can do that. So that's the cool thing about modular synthesis. It's infinite. So yeah, that kind of matches the theme of today's stream, creating infinite sound with these modular components. So let's keep going. So I'm going to modulate this cutoff just slightly. Okay, let's go down a little bit. Okay. So we're modulating the cutoff with the slow envelope. Think like a slow fade. Just listening to it. So here's where actually the Tron magic happens. We're going to add one more thing. And this is the exciting part. We're going to grab a reverb, and we're going to bring out the character of all of the work we've done up until this point. And this should make it really shine and really bring out what we've done to its fullest extent. So we're going to add in a reverb. And that reverb is going to help us to bring out all the character and all the motion that we've just created with all of our modular components. So let's get ready and turn it on. So we want to create a long tail. So we're going to listen to what it sounds like, and then we're going to tweak it. So let's hear it. Oh yeah, that's the grid right there. That's the grid. So we got the grid. So congratulations on making your first sound design sound. This is the grid. So we've created the grid from Tron. Let's save our sound before we lose it. So we've saved our sound. That's super important because if you close your plugin and you don't save it, unfortunately, you'll lose your work and you'll have to start over again. And this was like a little bit of a lengthy process to create. So you don't want to lose your work and have to start over again. I'm just going to delete any components we're not using. Actually, I want that back because I want to play chords. So next, we're going to take it up another step, and we are going to add a little bit of maybe some chords. So let's see. Okay, so we're going to take it up a notch. I think I'm going to duplicate this voice and we'll run it through another. Let's duplicate the voice. I'm going to run it through a bit crusher. Whoops. There we go. So we've got another identical voice, and we're going to run it through some bit crushing. So let's use some saturation. In this case, some distortion. And I think I'm going to change it to a comb filter. So I'm going to change out the filter that we're using, the filter type. And to that, oh, before I do that, this is just a quick change of the names. Okay. LFO3. Filter. This is filter 2. Yeah, LFO4. Okay. As long as the number is different, I think we're okay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And then note in. So we know it's the second one that we added. And the mix, we'll name that mix 2. We'll name this one mix 1. And I'm going to go ahead and save it just like this as a secondary patch, just in this state, so that I have something to reference back to in case we want to change it, revert back to stock. So I'm going to add in, so that I can combine it, I'm going to bring in our last piece, which is our mix. So not stereo level, looking for stereo mix. There we go. Mix 4. I always forget the name. Okay, we're going to blend them together into one super synth. So it's going to require me to do a little bit of rewiring, but it shouldn't be too bad. Let's see here. Because they all got to go to the same output. Okay. Let's change that. Let's change this to And then the mod. Maybe we'll use 2. Okay, then no, we'll use 1. Then the filter 2. We're gonna go to the comb filter. Add the depth back just a little bit. Gonna match this to 88.75 kilohertz. Excuse me. Alright, 8.75. That's close enough. And then this modulation depth, we're gonna match that too. Just a little bit. Very similar. So we're gonna delete that. And that's gonna be our new filter. Then we're gonna feed that filter into our left and right outputs. Right here. We'll do 2 left and 2 right. And we'll bring this up to the top. Then we will do from this VCA. Let's just make sure it's working. I'm gonna copy this or duplicate. And then remove that. Let's call this number 2. Gonna go into that. Out through the VCA, which is voltage amplifier, controlled amplifier. And I'm gonna go out through that. And this one's gonna connect to our other VCA. And let me just hear. So are we working on the other ones? Let's see. Mute. Yeah, the second one is working. So we got 2 oscillators working in tandem. You can hear one on level on channel 1. And the other one in channel 2. And it's playing still because because it's straight hooked up to the output. That's why. Let's reroute it. There we go. Should it? Okay. So let's unmute. There we go. Now our signal's flowing in, but it's missing our reverb. So I'm gonna add the reverb back in. Or I know it's getting a little bit complicated, but this part is just fine-tuning. Let's go from that reverb out to our left and right, and we'll go out from there to our ports. That way it can stay intact. There we go. Our sound is intact. And finally, I'm going to connect this distortion unit. First to check if our sound's working. Yep, it's working. Let's disconnect this distortion unit to our left and right, our second left and rights. And we'll have 2, oops. And we should have 2 sounds feeding in. Let's go here and right. There we go. And we got a nice super lush sound. I'm gonna save this. Okay, so we've saved that, and we've got our double module. So there we go. Hopefully this is something that inspired you to create your own patches. We've layered them up. I'm gonna blend it, do one little final tweak, blending the sound in like slightly lower, just underneath. That's without. That's with the second layer. Okay, so let's make it playable as the last step in our journey here. How we're gonna do that is I'm gonna add an envelope control. So envelope. Okay, let's go to that second VCA. Okay, let's make this second one playable. We're going to duplicate our envelope. And we're going to add that to our gate control. This will be ADSR 1. And this will be going to our VCA 1. So I'm going to take that and put it in here. Test it out. Yep. So we're going to turn the modulation depth up, and we're going to turn that down to 0. Now there should be no sound coming from either oscillator. Now I have full control. I'm going to save this as another version 3. Okay, so that's version 3. I've done 3 versions so I can step backwards in my production or creation and really define it. Now I'm playing keys in my keyboard underneath me, and I have a super synth. Let's play in some chords quickly. Let's get a little bit of a melody. I'm going to play it straight and just arpeggiate. No. Oh, just give me a second to get something. Let's capture that. I messed up the chords a little bit. Let's see if I can capture what I needed. Okay, I want those two chords. Okay. Do a little editing. Oh, I like that. Let's chop these off. If I could do that. So we can scrap the rest of this. Let's just see if there's anything interesting there. And then no. So I like up to that point. So I'm gonna cut my clip. We're just gonna do a loop. It's not what I wanted to do. Okay. A little bit of quantize. Okay, so we're gonna extend that. Just fine tune our note positions. Okay, we're gonna keep that little piece. Let's try to get this to loop. There we go. add some thickness to it. Now we get some drums on there to finish our loop off. Just a simple beat. Gonna bring down the volume. Oh yeah, okay, that sounds good. Every 2 and 4. Sounds a little off. Okay. Just drawing in some notes here. Okay, we're gonna go in here. Let's see how that works out. One more time. Okay, we're going to add that together. This little section. Okay, a little trick for this is when you get stuck like that, just go back to your mixer and separate your parts. So we're going to separate, go to the taxi kit. It's a little trick that I just over time, I want to isolate this sound, this hit. So we'll take it out. There it is. That's the hat I want to remove. So we'll extract the chain. Now it's isolated. So now I can manipulate this. So I want to combine the parts. So it's going to look like this. Oops. Let's see if we can do this cleanly. Just for this one section. Okay, so it's not so clean. I'm going to do that. And that. Nope. It's a little bit late. Not sure why. There we go. I see why. We have a little bit extra space between these notes. There's only 3 bars here. Sometimes you gotta line it up. There we go. And then down here, 2. There's 4 here. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think I see the problem. It's like 1 bar late. Let's move that over. There we go. There, and we'll just duplicate that section out one more time. And it should be right. Okay, that one's a little off too. We'll fix that. So the space matters just as much as the sound. So, okay. There we go. And we're all fixed up. So, yeah, sometimes you have problems like that, but you can work around them. Just a little tip. We'll keep that going. I like that. That was giving some movement, so we're going to repeat that. And I want that for 2 more bars. Okay, let's add 1 more layer to our loop. Wonder if this will make it sound cooler. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to keep that as is. I'm going to create an audio track. And let's just sample this in. Okay. Hopefully got the tail too. Okay, let's add a lead. Capture the sound. Sometimes I like to sneak up on the recordings, just record them while I'm moving around. Your volume up a little bit. Gonna add some drum bus. Okay, one more layer. Okay, one more layer. Let's see how we're doing for time. Yeah, we're right. I'm trying to think what to add next. I think for the last layer, we just need a nice bass. I know we already have one, but I want to emphasize the groove. I don't like the way that one sounds, a little tinsely. Don't love that sound, so. I think I can add a groove to this, make it more groovy. Let's do grooveful. Let's see. Gonna add a groove to this track. So I'm gonna consolidate this so I can do that, but let me see. It's a little late. Let's see. I don't like that one either. No. Okay. Nothing seems to beat what I have, so that doesn't work either. Sometimes hit or miss with the groove pools, but you can also steal grooves from other tracks. But that's for another episode. Or borrow. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it like this for now. I want to add one more thing. I was supposed to arpeggiate. So I'm going to duplicate this layer. Going to make it a different color. It's not MIDI. I forgot. So you can't apply the audio effect to audio. Must be MIDI. So let's just see here. Not loving that. I think I'm gonna leave it as is. So hopefully you learned something in the session about sound design and how to design cool sounds. And if you're into this kind of stuff, cinematic sound design, hit that like button, subscribe, drop a name suggestion for a sound in the chat. And next stream we'll build maybe a melody engine, and that sits on top of this. So something that feels like the voice of the machine itself. Until then, stay creative, stay inspired, and remember, in sound we live forever. So, peace out. I'll see you in the next live stream. And don't forget to, if you'd like to dive deeper, I do have a link in the description for deep dive in sound design. So I'll see you in the next live stream. Peace out and keep sound designing.